Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our very first webinar session.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Welcome to those that just joined the session. Please let's be patient as we wait for others to join. The session will commence soon. Thank you all. Welcome again to us all. The session is starting. Please let's prepare ourselves as we begin this session. My name is Irama Bafua, and I'll be your moderator for today's exciting discussion. We have an amazing lineup of speakers who will share their expertise and experiences on self-publishing, and we are thrilled to have you join us on this journey. Before we begin, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge the incredible women writers who have paved the way for us. Your voices and stories and perspective have inspired and empowered us, and we are honored to continue this legacy. I would love to wish all of us happy International Women's Day. Let's keep doing what we are doing and keep conquering the world with our individual talents and gifts. Please, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So, what can you expect for today's webinar? Our objective here today is to provide you with the tools, insights, and motivation to take control of your writing journey and self-publish with confidence. We are delighted to introduce our guest speakers, who are all accomplished women writers and self-publishing experts. We want to encourage you to engage and participate throughout the webinar. You can ask questions, share your thoughts, and connect with our speakers and fellow attendees through our live chat. Please, we urge you all to mute your microphones when the session starts so we can hear our speakers clearly. Without further ado, let's get started. Our first speaker for today's session will take us to the stage to discuss book design and marketing. Our first speaker will be Ms. Sherifa Adamu Musah. She is a writer, lyricist, author, advocate for social change, and the founder of Global Writers Project. She has published over 14 books and leads initiatives promoting literacy, gender equality, and community empowerment through writing. Ms. Sherifa, please, we are honored to have you here, and we are thrilled to hear your experience and what you have to share with us today. Thank you for accepting to be here, and we are all ears to listen to you. Please let's be attentive and listen to Ms. Sherifa as she begins this session with us. Thank you all.
Thank you too, Marion. Thank you very much. And hello, everyone, once again. I'm excited to be here with you today as we're going to talk about something very close, a topic very close to my heart, and that is book design and marketing. And so, whether you are an aspiring author or writer, a self publisher, or even a professional in the book industry, getting your book out into the world is a way that captures attention is very, very important. And I'm going to take you through, or let me just start with a quick question. How many of you judge a book by its cover? Be honest. I mean, you can drop a yes in the chat if you have ever picked a book and then just had to drop it away, or let's say just take it because of how amazing the design is. Yes, I would say book design is very important. Book design matters, and so does marketing. So today I'll take you over the key aspect of designing a book that looks professional and selling it in a way that makes readers excited to buy. And so we start by looking at why book design matters. We have to know why it's important. Um, for example, you imagine working in a bookshop, or whether you even if it's through Amazon or an online bookstore, and then the first thing you notice when you see any book is the cover, right? So whether you like it or not, I always say this: first impressions matter. So a well-designed book does a lot of things to an individual or the reader. First of all, it grabs your attention, it establishes credibility, it sets the tone to the content inside, and also helps with marketing. I mean, because let's be honest, there's nothing like an ugly book cover, but then imagine taking a look at a book and then it doesn't have good writing. I mean, you can't even tell what the title is because of how the typography is or how the font is. I mean, you're going to put it out, you're going to put it down again. So this is where your book cover is supposed to be your first marketing tool, and it's what convinces any reader or any person to pick up the book. So now we are going to talk about how to design a book that is going to stand out. Let's look at elements of a great book cover. You know, a great book cover isn't just about making the book look pretty. It needs to be strategic, and some of these key elements to make your book cover work is the title and the typography. Your title should be clear and easy to read. Even when it's in a tumbling among other books in Amazon or any other bookstore, it should have like a catchy look. It should have a professional font and also avoid the cluster of being together. Now, another element we're going to look about is the color scheme and the imagery. You know, colors always evoke some kind of emotion in us as individuals and human. So you think about the genre of the book, whether it's a poetry book, it's a fiction, it's a mystery. Like let's take mystery books for instance. It uses dark tones and dark colors, and when we take romance books for instance, it kind of uses an imagery that has to do with romance, or let's say like flowery, something flowery or love. So, and let's take self books for instance. They are normally bold and bright in terms of the color scheme and then the imagery. So, in terms of putting that strategic way to make your book cover stand out, we have the hierarchy and also the balance, which falls under the element of book design. In terms of the hierarchy and the balance, you need to go with the title, your name as an author, and images. All these should be balanced. You don't want your title to drown the whole oversized picture. For example, you want to put a picture in in your book front cover, and then you want to put your title there to make it bold, but you don't want the title to overlap the image or to oversize the whole picture. So you have to make sure the hierarchy of your title, your name as the author, and the images that you are using for the book cover is well balanced. And another key element here is the genre fit. You see, you don't just design a book for designing sake. You have to know the genre you are going to write or design on. If it is poetry, and not poetry alone, specific genre or the content of your poetry, you look at that to fit the whole book cover designing. So you should your cover should immediately tell the reader what kind of book it is, whether it's an oral novel or it's a romance, because you don't want to design a book that the cover looks like an horror, like it looks like an horror book, and then the reader will take it and it's rather something different. The cover should fit the genre of the book. So if you are working with a designer, you have to give them a brief, like a clear brief with examples of what you would like. And if you are designing it yourself, then you have to keep it simple. and also professional in a way that it's going to fit the whole genre that you are talking about. And please, I hope I'm audible enough and you can give reactions if you can hear me and if you understand as well. Now we are looking at the interior and the layout formatting. You know, when it comes to interior formatting, it's about the inside of your book, because book design isn't just about the cover but the inside also. And when it comes to interior formatting, the font choice and also the readability of it matters a lot. You have to use fonts that are easy on the eyes, and like they are not overly decorative forms to overdo the main text or the main content of your work. And in terms of margin and spacing, I mean, I'm still touching on the interior and formatting. The first point I mentioned is the font choice and readability. The second is your margin, and then the spacing. With the image here, that is presented, if you can read it or if you can zoom it out, or you could tell there are margins and there are sizes for it. In terms of book publishing or book journal, there are sizes. It depends on the size of the book you want and with the content of it. When it comes to picture book, you see the middle one has some sort of pictures in it. So if your picture is going, if your book is going to be having pictures, there is a way to go about it, especially in terms of margin and spacing, because you don't want the pictures overlapping the text, and you don't want the pictures going out from the book when it's being printed out. So, like I said, you have to avoid cramped or too close to the edge spaces in terms of the margin and spacing. And then your white space making also makes it reading and comfortable, especially when you see at the margin side there's a bit of white space left out. Sometimes the readers, when they are reading, they like to jot out notes at that side. All this matters when it comes to the interior layout and formatting of a book. Another element or another key factor when you are looking at the interior and layout formatting is images and illustrations. Like I just explained, as you can tell from the image in the middle, you see there are images in there. So if your book has pictures, then you have to make sure they are high quality and properly formatted to avoid it overlapping the text in the book. And another element is also page numbers, headers, and footers. For example, when it comes to headers, you could be repeating the title of your book at the top, and at the bottom it could have the page numbers or any other factor that you want to include as a footer. And so this should be always consistent and professional. And remember, a poorly formatted book can make even like it can make your story, the content of your book, feel unprofessional, and you don't have to overlook this because it's part of designing a book. It's not about just doing the front cover, but the interior, the inside of the book also matters. Now let's take it. This is a quick overview of the book design. Let's take it quickly to book marketing. What is book marketing? You know, now we have designed a book and it's amazing, but how do we get it to actually, or how do we get people to actually buy it? That is where marketing starts or comes in. You know, book marketing is basically getting your book in front of the right audience and then convincing them that it's worth their time and also money. And the good news is that book marketing isn't about, spamming people, buy my book through like your social media post and like putting pressure on them to buy my book. It's about building connections. It's about telling a story and making the readers feel like they need your book in their lives. I'm repeating that again. You know, book marketing isn't about spamming people, telling them, hey, buy my book, do this. Consistently posting it and saying buy my book or that sort. It's about building connection, telling a story, and making the readers or the audience feel like they need your book in their lives. I mean, anyone who want to buy a book that is worth their time and worth their money. In terms of marketing a book, it starts before your book is even released. And here is how you can do it, or you should lead up to launching your book. You start talking about your book on social media months in advance before it's even launched, and then you start sharing snippets or even the cover review and behind the scenes moment of when you were bringing out the whole book thing, and engaging with your audience. It's very, very crucial. It's very important. It's a number one factor. You run the pool, you ask for feedback, you make sure your readers feel involved. And even before your book launch, you can sort of have like a beta readers where they read it in advance before the book is set for release or for launching. And getting book reviewers and influencers keeps or helps to spread the word. Also, you have to keep an email list, like a good mind for future book sales. You kind of have like an email list where you send out newsletters or short blog posts to them announcing your book, or for the process through the snippets and all that through the process, or short snippets of it, asking for feedback and so on. And once your book is out in the world, how do you keep selling it? That is one another great instances where it matters. Now your book is out there. How do you keep selling it? That is where you leverage platforms like bookstores, online bookstores, even in-person or physical bookstores. You reach out to them with proposals and so on. And even you can go as far as to build on your own website. So wherever your audience shops, you should target that place. Now we are in a digitalization world where technology is being advanced. There is self-publishing. For instance, I personally use Draft to Digital, and it takes your book to about 16 digital stores. You see how amazing it is. Yeah, so with these 16 amazing stores, sorry, digital stores, it's like, how do you call it? It gives access to your audience to shop from whatever bookstore they are comfortable with. If your book is only available on Amazon and not anyone is able to shop on Amazon, it's limited. That means you're not able to get your book out there enough. So you should be exploring other platforms, bookstores, building your own website, even a personal channel for yourself. You should be using that to you should leverage those platforms to keep selling your book. And another important aspect is for you to attend book fairs, podcasts, live readings, networking events. All this helps for you to keep selling your book. When you attend book fairs, you get to meet people and other creatives who are also like you. You talk to them about your book. Like I said, you push it to them, buy my book, buy my book. But then you have to let them know the reason why it's worth spending their time and money on your book. You should also be encouraging your readers to leave reviews on, if they're buying from Amazon, encourage them to leave a review for you. If it's a free book and they're downloading it anywhere, you make sure they leave a review for you. And like social proof sells a lot. It sells books. Who would, like, I mean, people check all these things. If you're an online bookstore and you want to purchase a book, you look if the book already have sales, if it's being rated. Some people, all this counts for them. If they see your book have no review or no ratings, they tend to skip it before, because they feel like it is not selling. But if there are to be ratings and reviews on it, it becomes a social proof for the book to sell. And then there are times where you have to have discounts. For example, Smashwords, when you publish your book with them, there are times where you can run discounts and so on. For the first week of March, as we are in till today, I think is Read an Ebook Week, where they put books on discount, and also if it's for free, you can put it for free. All these things attract more readers or people, or to want to purchase your book or to read your book. And during this period, you have to encourage people, especially when you're running a free chapter, free content, or free discounts for your book. You have to make sure you're encouraging them to leave reviews as you are doing this for free. And I mean, monetary aspect comes in when you want to use the paid ads strategy like Facebook, Instagram, and the Amazon ads to boost the visibility of your book. But the only thing here is that it's target. You get to your book gets to the targeted audience correctly. So if you have enough monetary, or like you have funds to promote your book, you can as well do that to promote it on Facebook, Instagram, and Amazon. And when it comes to the social media strategies for selling your book, social media has always been, and especially in our generation now going forward, it's going to be, and it has been the most powerful tools for everything we do. And it's also the most powerful tools for book marketing. But posting them randomly, buy my book messages, it won't work. You can't just be like posting the cover of the book, buy my book. It won't work. Instead, you have to tell a story, share the journey of your book, let the readers connect with it, like it's the book's authenticity, and you have to make sure you are using, it's social media you are dealing with. It's a competitive action. Someone is also using that same platform to promote their book, to promote their activities and what they do. So you have to make sure you use eye-catching visuals, aesthetic book covers, teasers, quotes from the book. It could be short video clips, and all these things work best. And the amazing thing here is, we are in an advanced world, and artificial intelligence is, helping us to do all this. There are a lot of AIs out there that you just put a snippet of your book on it. It can just generate a video for you. It can just bring out a short blog about your book, and also touch on points where it's going to ease your way of strategically using social media to promote your book. And rule number one, be consistent. You don't do it today and tomorrow you're not doing it anymore, or you wait weeks later and you do it again. Being consistent, posting regularly, and focusing on the value, but just not about the promotion, not about promotion only, but being consistent on the content, or regularly posting also draws attention to your book. Like I said, we are in an advanced world, digitalization is taking over and things. So you have to try all various forms of, what is coming, or the trends, the emerging trends. Now we have Instagram Reels, we have TikTok, we have YouTube Shorts. All this can go viral as long as you are using the eye-catching visual. You are doing it the right way. You are being consistent. You are using the right hashtags to reach the right people. You are engaging with your community, and you can't be a writer without joining book clubs, without attending writing activities and so on. It's like you're doing nothing at the end of the day, because who do you want them to read your book if you don't network with your own community members? So when you join forums, book clubs, Facebook groups, I would normally recommend Facebook groups to people, because me personally, I started using that. I'm not a fan of Facebook, but I had to be on Facebook for promotion, for marketing my book. There are a lot of Facebook groups that really helps a lot in marketing. People come and they drop their book out there, they drop their snippets, they do a kind of short videos, even as far as to request feedback from their fellow writers and fellow authors. And this is what we call forums. It's engaging. You have to engage with a community, like either a reader community, an author or writer community. So like I said, all in all, the strategy leads to one point. It's a key, and that key is relationship building. The more engaged you are with your audience, the more likely they are to buy your book. Being consistent about it. You engage with them, you build a relationship with them, and that is going to make them buy your book easily, because they know how you've been how you've been going about it, and how I mean imagine engaging with these people. I mean, you have the communities, you engage with them, where you participate in discussions and so on, and it's your time to bring something out. Why not? People are always out there to promote you on that. Please, if anyone has any questions, they can put them in the chat box or they can raise their hand. So I think so far we've covered a few, but a lot today: the book designing, the formatting, the marketing. But what you have to remember is that the most important thing is also to love the process. You don't do it because you want to get the money out of it. You worked hard and you love the process, you enjoy it, and then when you are making the money out of it, you're good to go. It's all part of the process and you get to love it. And your book is like an extension for you, and it serves to be presented in the best possible way. Whether you are designing it yourself or you're hiring a professional, the goal is to make it look polished and marketable. And when it comes to marketing, you have to be patient. Books don't become bestsellers overnight, but with consistent effort and smart strategies, you can reach the right audience. And I think I'll leave it for now for question and answering. I would like to hear from you your biggest takeaway from today's session. And of course, if you have any question, you can either raise your hands to be called to ask or you can drop it in the chat.
Thank you, Miss Sherifa, for this inspiring session. Please, if you have any question, ask Miss Sherifa said. We are in for your questions. Mirabel, please, I've seen your hands up. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Oh, it was an error. I was trying to use a reaction and I tapped on the palm, so I don't really have
Oh,
anything to ask.
sure, thank you. Faye, please go ahead.
Yeah, hello. Thank you for that presentation. It was really good. I have a question regarding the fonts of the book. I know obviously with some people they have a special need like dyslexia. So I remember one time when I was writing, someone mentioned that you might need to like the font, you might need to change it because to obviously cater to people who have um that special needs. So I'm just wondering whether you are aware of any like platform or website that have a various fonts that people can choose from that will cater to people. Um, yeah, I hope that I've made sense. Hello.
Uh, Please, your question has been noted. Please, any questions? So we take all the questions, then Miss Sherifa will answer to them.
Oh, okay. And also, did she touch upon, if you were to sell your books to another country?
Please, can you come again? We didn't hear your question clearly.
Oh, I said if did she touch upon rights, like rights, selling your rights of a book to a different country?
I think she will touch on that very soon. So since you've asked,
Okay.
I think Miss Sherifa will answer to that.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you
all I
very
had.
much. Please,
Thank
do you
you.
have any further more questions?
No, that's all I had.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Please, sure. Please, do you have any questions before Miss Sherifa come in? Miss Sherifa.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello.
Yes,
Please,
please.
am I audible? Okay, okay. So the
Yes, you are now.
okay, thank you. So the first question was, in terms of fonts, is there a website you know that have a wide variety of fonts that's accessible for people of special needs? Was that a question from, is it Faye? Sorry if I pronounced the name wrong.
Yes, please. I think
Yeah,
it's
that
about
that was my
fun.
question.
All right. Yeah, there are actually a few good websites with fonts designed for people or special, I mean, with special needs. And the number one I would recommend is Google Font. And they've got a bunch of free fonts, including the is it Legend? Yeah, Legend, and it helps with kind of reading speed, and it's also specially made for special needs people. I mean readers. And there are other fonts as well that is being designed. I'll drop it in the comments, in the chats, so that you all can have access to it. There is this that is also designed to make reading more easier for people with special needs, and it kind of gives letters that are very unique. It kind of have a unique weight by and also shape. I think that one is also a paid font though, and there are also readable fonts. There's a website called readablefonts.com. They offer different fonts that are easy for people um, with reading difficulties to read. So there are a lot. Actually, there are actually a lot of fonts out there designed and also specially that also meets the needs of people with special needs. And it depending on the book, like I said, and depending on the book and also the requirements or the content of whatever you want to write or publish out there, there's always a font that goes for you. So you can explore any of them. I'll share the resource to the chat so everyone can have access to it. Thank you.
Miss Sherifa, please, she asked a second question with respect to book rights.
Hi, sorry, my connection from the other side is messing up. So I'm answering from this side. Yeah, she asks, are there any rights attached to selling your books to other country? And that's a very great question. And yes, when you sell your books to other country, there are definitely rights involved. First as an author, you automatically own the copyright to your book the moment you create it. That means no one can legally copy it, right? Then you distribute it or you sell it without, or let me say, because it becomes your copyrighted material, that means no one can legally copy it or distribute it or even to sell it without your permission. But when you're selling your book internationally, you need to be aware of a few things. There are copyright protections, and most countries recognize international copyright laws. So your book is protected under agreements like, is it Berne Convention? Yeah, Berne Convention. And this means the rights to your books are generally upheld across multiple countries. There are also rights that are it's in territory. And if you are publishing traditionally, the publisher may buy the rights for a specific region. But with self-publishing like Amazon Kindle, Draft to Digital, Smashware, and all the others, you usually retain all the rights and you can sell your book worldwide because we are doing it self-published and it's on digital form. So with this platform, they already kind of give that international rights or that copyright protection to you as the author. And we have translation and also adaptation right, and that is when you plan to sell your book to a non-speaking country or non-speaking countries, I mean, sorry, non-English speaking countries. You might consider selling it in like translation form to have that kind of adaptation and translation rights, or when you are working with translated from that region, you may want to have that kind of rights, so you retain the full copyright protection for your material. And in terms of this right comes to taxes and the royalties. Some countries have specific tax policies for international earnings. For example, Amazon requires you to fill a tax form, and also there are different countries that have different withholding rates. And the bottom line is that if you are self-publishing the book, then you generally keep full control. But it's good to be aware of how this rights and translation rights and also the taxes work, so that it works in the different regions that your book will be going into. And if you ever got like the publishing deal, you have to read and like you have to read the fine print to know exactly what rights you are giving away. With I normally say this: we don't tend to like reading a lot deeply, especially when we are signing up for something and we see terms and conditions applied or agree. We just click on the agree without reading exactly. Due diligence is very important because you don't know what rights you are selling. If you are signing up and you want to self-publish on Amazon, they ask you to read. I mean, they ask you blah 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 and agree. Just click on the agree without reading what's right and what we are giving away to them and so on. So all this matters, and of course, like I said, um, it's I mean, when you sell your book in other country, there are definitely rights involved to it. So that answers the second question too. Thank you.
Miss Abigail, please go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, thank you, Mimi. Am I audible? Can everyone hear me, please?
Yes, please. We can
Okay.
hear you.
All right, thank you. So mine isn't a question; it's just a quick chipping into Sherifa's presentation. So I know maybe there will be some of us who will be wondering, this whole topic on book design and marketing, does it apply for authors who write children's books? Children's book publishing also is a whole topic on its own. And I just want to chip in that we are going to have that session tomorrow. So the speaker is going to also talk about some special designs when it comes to publishing children's books. There are some important things to also note. So that will be covered tomorrow. So if there's anyone with any question in relation to unique designs when it comes to publishing children's books, you have that question answered tomorrow. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Miss Abigail. Please, do we have any more questions?
I think there is an hand. Is it BB? I'm seeing BB. Please, if you have a question, you can unmute yourself and
Miss
let.
Abigail, please, do you have
Yes,
something to
please.
say again?
Thank you. I've had my hand up for some time now.
Okay.
Okay, so hi Sherifa, hi everyone. I just wanted
Okay.
to find
Sorry.
out. Oh, it's okay. Regarding choosing the right cover for your book, right? I want you to share your experience on how you choose that how you chose that right cover for your book. Is it that you have certain graphic designers you work with? Are there any sites, any websites that you would trust with this task? Because I released my book in 2021, and I think getting the right cover for my book it made the whole experience very, very traumatic to one extent, because I dealt with a lot of graphic designers who just didn't seem to get my vision. Eventually I ended up on Fiverr, and then I had someone design the cover for me, only to find out after the book release that, the person used an image that is all over the internet. So I just want to know, when it comes to dealing with the right graphic designers, how do you go about it? Do you have some trusted people you work with, an agency, or you just freestyle and just go with anyone who shows up? Thank you.
Yeah, I like that very much. Absolutely. When it comes to choosing the right cover for your book, it's very, very important. You see, with your experience that you go through, a lot of let's go through that. I mean, I haven't gone through it yet. Maybe I'm yet to go through it, but then I don't think it's going to happen. It's very important because it's the first thing. Your book cover is the first thing readers see, and it needs to grab an attention, reflect with the essence of your book. And from my experience, I've learned that a good cover isn't just about looking pretty. It's more of to be general approach, visually striking and professional. For example, if you want to publish a poetry book, depending on the context of it, if it's about your personal narrative, you know, you see, you said earlier, you mentioned you couldn't comment. I mean, they couldn't get the vision you communicated with them, how you wanted it to be, and all that. That is where I'll always say the genre have this different kind of style. Like I said earlier on, a romance book may come with, something flowery love. I don't work with graphic designers. I've taken courses in graphic designing, and I've had credibility in that. So I normally design book covers myself, and it's no easy task. It's no easy task at all. You may feel you can do it yourself. Once you start it, you can't even finish, and then it's kind of feel like it's not what you are looking for. That is why sometimes you may feel like you want to go in for a graphic designer. And when the graphic designer comes in, please, am I audible?
Yes, you
Hello,
are.
please, am I
Yes,
audible?
please.
Okay,
Yes, you
so
are.
when the graphic designing comes in, then you have to work hand in hand with them to communicate the how do you call it, how you want the book to be. They also may feel it's about just book designing, and they'll end up taking images elsewhere, and it may lead you into problems, especially if the image is a copyrighted image. Like you said, he used a picture or an image from the internet. It's all over the internet for the book design, and this sometimes can lead you or can land you into a very huge problem, like copyright issues, and you'll be sued for that. So when you are um, designing your book, especially if you are self-publishing and you need a very great cover. There are several tools and services that makes it very easy. And number one, I would recommend it's Canva. It's free, though they have paid services, but then it's free for most designs, and it can also meet your standard with what you are looking for. It's user friendly. And another website platform is the Book Brush, and they have designed specifically for authors and book covers templates to meet whatever genre that you are going to publish your book around. It's like I said earlier, it's no easy task. You can't just go because you said we know it's Canvas, so we are just going to put things together and then we have it done. No, it's how you want the cover to resonate with the genre, the contents of your work, and making sure whatever images or whatever element you are putting on the cover isn't something that is already existing, or it's not something that is a copyrighted material. So even Amazon Kindle do have a cover creator. So if you are publishing on the Amazon Kindle, they offer an inbuilt tool for you to create your book covers, and it's free. It doesn't bring you like issues like copyright issues where you're going to use an image and it may land you in problem. Amazon provide that services as well. The express one are when you're trying to use the tools that the graphic designers normally use. With that, those one, if you are not expert in it, or if you are not a novice in it, if you don't have a basic knowledge of graphic designing, you may find it very difficult to actually design your book initially. But with due practices, from time to time, with the basic one, you can get it. And I think if you are serious about your book, investing in a professional design or even a high quality template can make a huge difference for your book success. Either you do it yourself or you hire a graphic designer, and make sure it's you are doing the due diligence work. Make sure you don't just leave it to them. You are always communicating with them. You are letting them show you snippets, the highlight of it, where they've gotten to, what they are including, whatever they send you. There is Google that can also make you see if this image is already out there. Then you'll be advising them on how you want it to be and how you don't want it to be. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you,
Miss
Miss
Abigail.
Sherifa.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I think there's a question in the message session. I mm, I think she's asking about marketing with respect to audiobooks. How do we market audiobooks to people who prefer that?
Yeah, in regards to audiobook, the example I cited with the platform called Draft to Digital, they are doing a very great job because somehow they have a session right where you're publishing your book as an author, your dashboard. There's a session where if you want your book to be published as an audiobook, you just click on it and automatically it kind of it also takes you to a part or a dashboard where you would do the specs, the specifications of how you want the audiobook to be like. If it's going to be self-recorded by you, you do that. If you want it to be generated automatically, you do that as well. So, like I said, there are advanced and emerging trends that are already in the system. As long as you are using the right platforms, it's always easy to get it. And I think marketing to people who prefer audiobooks, it's kind of requires a slight different strategy because audiobook listeners often consume a content on the go. For example, while they are driving, working out, and so on. So you have to make sure your audiobook is available where audiobook listeners are always at. And we have Audible and I think Amazon kind of mixed together, and it's one of the biggest platforms for audiobooks. And Google Play, before you can get your audiobooks on Google Play or Apple Books, it's going to take a lot of work. For instance, it's not easy to get it on Google Books or Google Play actually. But Apple Books, you can do that if you are publishing on Draft to Digital. Like I said, Draft to Digital publishes your books for you on 16 digital bookstores, and it's amazing because you can manage it from all those bookstores, and also you have like your author dashboard where you can look at the inside from each of the stores without having to create personal accounts for them, and there are terms and conditions apply. You don't pay anything to publish on how do you call it, Draft to Digital. It's totally free. And then there are Kobo. When you publish on Draft to Digital, it sends your book to Kobo. There's Spotify. I mean, if you know the like I said, if you make the specifications of your content, of how you want the whole audiobook to be. Some may prefer to record it themselves and upload it as a file for the audiobook. Others may prefer it being generated with an AI or with artificial intelligence, and that is on the go. So people who prefer audiobooks are always looking for something engaging, something that is normally well narrated. You don't just publish any book and want it to be in a form of audiobook. Depending on the type of book you are publishing, maybe a self-help book, it's good on the go for audiobook, like to make it as an audiobook. And some may also prefer to hire a voice artist narrator to do that for them. And I think that is okay to go. Regular podcasting on some short highlights from the book also makes it easy, and it's all about the key is, or the key to reaching the audiobook lovers in terms of marketing is the sound. Use audio samples. Make sure you're engaging in audiobook community. Get your book on the right platforms, and most importantly, make sure the narration is always high quality. You get to test them before they are published actually. So because in audiobooks the voice is everything. You don't want the sound having background noises in the audio interrupting the reader on like from listening to the actual content of your book. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Miss Sherifa, for this great session. God bless you so much.
You're welcome.
Please, we are moving to our second speaker. Let's get ready for Miss Abigail Enam Adoja. She's a self-published author, creative writer, and the founder of She Writers Club. Miss Abigail, please, can we have you for the second session, please? Please let's welcome Miss Abigail.